Welcome to Hey, it's Carly Rae's Book Club. This is Book Hour where authors will talk their latest novels, reveal their writing process, and play some fun book games. I'm your host, Carly Rae. Today we have best-selling author Jen Calonita. We're going to be talking about her Disney Twisted Tale, Conceal, Don't Feel, find out how she imagined the story twist for Anna and Elsa, if she has a favorite genre she writes in, and if we can expect more Disney Twisted Tales soon. Plus, we are going to see how well Jen knows her Disney trivia. We'll jump in right after this. Hello, Jen. Tell us where you're joining us from.
Hi, I am on Long Island in New York, but I wish I was with you in Florida.
Well, I'm very excited to have you on Book Hour. I love your novels, especially your Disney Twisted Tales.
Thank you. I love working on the Twisted Tale series.
Yeah. Well, for readers who are looking for a fun winter read, Conceal, Don't Feel will be just that. Here's a close-up of the cover. Jen, this novel is based on Anna and Elsa from the famed Disney classic Frozen. But with this tale, the twist is, what if Anna and Elsa never knew each other? Tell us more about this twisted storyline.
So this is the second Twisted Tale book I've had the privilege of doing. There's 3 of us right now who work on the series: Liz Braswell, Elizabeth Lim, and myself. And the first one I did was this one right here, Mira Mira, which was about Snow White. And I picked the twist, what if the evil queen poisoned the prince instead of Snow? When I was offered the chance to get to do another Twisted Tale and I found out it was Frozen, I just couldn't believe my good fortune. I am a huge Frozen fan, so that was so much fun. The twist actually had already been chosen when I agreed to do the book, because Disney was getting ready for Frozen 2 to come out. And so the twist was, what if Anna and Elsa don't know each other? And so I started to try to come up with ways how I could figure out how 2 sisters would not remember the other, each other. Yeah. And what I came up with was, what if something had to do with the curse that we saw at the beginning of Frozen 1? What if when Aduna and Agnar, the Frozen parents, take the girls to see the trolls, what if instead of them just erasing Anna's memory, what if Elsa's accidentally gets erased as well? And so it becomes this major change in the Frozen universe where Elsa and Anna don't remember each other. And if Anna gets too close to Elsa, her heart actually will freeze. Her whole body will freeze, just like at the end of the movie. And so the girls are kept apart. Elsa is raised as the heir to the throne in the castle. Anna is raised with close family friends up in the mountains of Arendelle. She has no idea she's royal. She lives with a family of bakers, and her favorite cookie to make is a very familiar snowman. And so she starts to wonder more about what's going on down in Arendelle. It was so much fun to come up with this storyline.
Yeah. Did you watch Frozen many times to ensure you imagined the atmosphere correctly, or was writing this like writing any other novel?
Definitely a lot of Frozen watching, which is something I love to do anyway. I love Frozen. But the funny thing was, a lot of this book I liked to write out of the house. And one of my favorite places to write was Panera Bread. And so I'd be sitting at Panera Bread and I would have my laptop open and I would have, my writing on one side of the screen. The other side of the screen would be like a YouTube clip from Frozen. And people would walk by and like look at me, this, adult woman watching Frozen in Panera, and kind of wonder what I was doing. And I just wanted to say, no, it's really work. It's really work. Because I was always watching key scenes, trying to just remember the feel of the characters, make sure I had Anna's voice right, Elsa's voice right. Really knew Kristoff, because Kristoff, Hans, Elsa, and Anna all get a chance to tell the new story. So I wanted to make sure I nailed it.
In writing a twisted tale for Disney books, are you given a guideline of how to lay out the story?
What we usually do is once we decide we're going to work on a new twisted tale, my editor and I will just talk about it for a while at first, just try to figure out what the twist is going to be, how the story is going to work. And, we make sure we're all on the same page. You want to make sure you're staying true to the Disney universe. You want to make sure you're being true to these characters. And I love these characters so much. I love Elsa and Anna. You showed a picture of me before dressed as Anna when I ran the Run Disney Wine and Dine half marathon. So Anna is such like a huge thing to me. I wanted to make sure I was true to her. And so we just go over things for a while at first. Sometimes they'll come up with ideas that might be a little bit out there. So I know when I did Mira Mira, my first thought was I was going to have Snow be this kind of like the swordsman, like she was going to be just kind of a badass and she was going to go blazing into the castle and go after the evil queen, and the dwarves were going to teach her how to use a sword. And everybody at Disney was kind of like, well, I don't know if Snow would do that. She's very kind. She would probably talk to her people. And the more I thought about it, I thought this would be a very different Snow than the Snow we know. This probably wouldn't work. So I went back to the drawing board. So that's generally how it works. We talk it out, figure it out, and then I go off and I write.
Yeah. Well, are you an Anna or Elsa fan?
I am definitely, I love both sisters, but I think I personally am an Anna. I'm very chatty. Sometimes I talk too much. I can be a little bit clumsy. I get very excited about things. So I would say I'm definitely an Anna.
After writing Conceal Don't Feel, did you get an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Disney's Frozen castle?
No. So when I was working on Frozen, when I was working on the Twisted Tale, they were also getting ready to release Frozen 2. And I had all these theories about what was going to happen in Frozen 2. And I kept asking my editor, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? And she'd be like, I can't tell you. And as a matter of fact, since so much of the book takes place in the mountains, since Anna lives in the mountains, I was given a partial map of Arendelle that was cut off, which was so frustrating because I knew there were pieces of the land that I had no clue about. Obviously, that all had to do with the forest in Frozen 2, but I couldn't see it on there. And I'm like, what piece of the map am I missing? Where else could they go? And obviously, we learned that in Frozen 2 about the Forest of Shadows.
Yeah. Well, you heard Jen talk all things Conceal Don't Feel. Stay tuned because when we return, we're going to find out if Jen always wanted to become a Disney writer. Welcome back to Book Hour. I'm your host, Carly Rae, here with best-selling author Jen Calonita. Jen, in your interview with Sarah Scoop, you revealed that you used to be an entertainment journalist, even having interviewed Zac Efron on the set of High School Musical 3. How did your background lead you to becoming an author?
I had this amazing job for 10 years. I worked in magazine publishing, and I worked for a magazine called Teen People, which, if you know People magazine, it was like its baby sister. That's how I liken it. And I got to interview so many stars on the way up, like Zac Efron and Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. And I loved my job, but I started to wonder what it would be like to be a teen celebrity. And while it does sound amazing, and I know we've all wondered what it would be like to walk the red carpet, at the same time, I also sometimes could see how overscheduled they were, how they felt pulled in two different directions, how they would want to hang out with friends or go to a friend's party, but they also had commitments, had to do interviews, had to be on a film set. And I thought, gosh, can you imagine having to be a celebrity, always in the public eye, but also have to do homework and wanting to always say and do the right thing, but also being a teenager and knowing that doesn't always happen. And I thought that would make a really interesting book, but I had never written a book before. So I wasn't sure I could pull it off, but I always think it never hurts to try. So I actually decided to write this book. I called it Secrets of My Hollywood Life. It was about a fictional TV actress named Caitlin Burke. And I talked to an editor at a publishing house about my idea. And she said, well, go write it. If we like it, maybe we'll hire you. And it wasn't as simple as that. We went back and forth several times, but they eventually hired me to write this series. I wound up writing 6 books in the series, Secrets of My Hollywood Life. And I never looked back. I've been writing books now 15 years.
Did you always want to write Disney books?
I have always loved Disney. My family is a huge Disney family. We've taken my kids more than a dozen times living up here in New York. We're always planning our next trip. And so I write this middle grade series called Fairy Tale Reform School, which is about a school run by former fairy tale villains. And in my author bio in the back of the book, it always said, Jen wishes she could kick Cinderella out of the castle at Walt Disney World and move in. And eventually a Disney editor saw that and thought, well, maybe she'd like to write for Disney too. And we got connected that way. And I'm so thankful because I love so many Disney characters. I love working on these stories and having the opportunity to put a new twist on stories we know and love.
Yeah. Now, have you ever gotten to stay at Cinderella's castle?
Oh, no, I want to so badly. I met another author who also used to be in magazine publishing, and he got to stay in Cinderella's castle and propose to his girlfriend there. And I was like, tell me everything, every inch of the room. What does it look like? Maybe someday. It's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah. Now, as you said, you write in various genres. Do you find it difficult keeping track of so many novels and their storylines?
It's funny because for the longest time, I only wrote realistic fiction, because I was writing about Hollywood stars, kids at sleepaway camp, girls on a reality show. And then I started writing a lot of fairy tale twisted stories. And now I have like a few different things going at once, but they're different variations of fairy tale characters. So I just try to keep everything very separate. I know some authors who could work on like 2 different books in the same day. I can't do that. Like once I'm in one character's head or several characters' head for one story, I have to stick with them for the day. It gets too confusing otherwise.
Yeah. Well, walk us through your writing process. Do you have to go to a certain place to write? Do you outline?
Well, before COVID, I loved to write out of the house. I felt like I was less distracted. It was sometimes nice just to be around other people who were busy and talking and just feel like I could be in my own bubble, even though I was surrounded by people. Now I obviously write at home mostly. I like to write early in the day, and I absolutely outline. I actually love to outline on Post-it notes, believe it or not. And what I do, the reason I like Post-it notes is because they're sticky, but they're not permanent. So I can come up with all these ideas, put them up on a board, keep staring at them, and try to figure out where they fit in the puzzle. I kind of liken every book to a puzzle that has to be solved. And when I move all the pieces around and they start to fit into place, I know I'm ready to start writing. Okay. And then usually it's usually a few month process to get a first draft down. But I always say about start to finish, it's about a year it takes to see one of my books published.
Okay. Well, you heard Jen talk about her writing process. We'll be right back to play Game Time.
Oh, wow. Is that pumpkin spice?
No, it's actually Fire Department Coffee's Harvest Blend. We don't do pumpkin spice.
Wait, you don't do pumpkin spice?
No, you know what? If you want pumpkin spice, go ahead and hit that button right there. Hey, by the way, do you like classical music? There you go. There's your pumpkin spice. Have a great day.
Welcome back. It is game time. The first game we're going to play is Trivia Disney Edition. Jen, I'm going to ask you trivia questions from parade.com, and we're going to see if you can answer them.
Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not stumped. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, the first one is, how many brothers does Prince Hans of the Southern Isles have in Frozen?
He has 12 brothers. He's 13th in line to the throne.
Yes, ding, ding, ding. All right. The second one is Christian Bale is the voice behind which character in Pocahontas?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know he was a voice in Pocahontas. I don't know that one. Who is he?
He's Thomas.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. That's very cool.
The third one is which Disney princess attended Elsa's coronation day in Arendelle?
Rapunzel.
Yes, ding, ding, ding. The fourth one is what was the first Pixar movie?
Not the short, right? Not the short about the lamp. Was it
no.
Toy Story?
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. All right. The last one is what are the 3 mountains in Magic Kingdom?
Okay, Space Mountain,
Yes.
Splash Mountain, and in Magic Kingdom, Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain.
Yes. Ding. Well, Jen definitely knows her Disney trivia. Now we are going to play Would You Rather Disney Edition. So the first question is, would you rather go to Disney World or Disneyland?
Well, I would say Disney World because it's our favorite, but we're desperately trying to get out to Disneyland when it opens again, just so my kids can see it.
Yeah. Would you rather meet Cinderella or Elsa?
Oh, Elsa. Frozen all the way.
Would you rather be a mermaid like Ariel or have long hair like Rapunzel?
I think a mermaid like Ariel. My family says I'm part mermaid as it is. I could spend my whole day in the pool.
Would you rather voice the character of Mickey Mouse or Goofy?
Goofy.
And then finally, would you rather meet a witch with an apple or meet a beast with a red rose?
I feel like I know how to handle the witch with the apple, so I will stick with her.
All right. Well, that concludes game time. Jen, I want to thank you for being on Book Hour and joining us today. Before you go, tell viewers if you're writing more books.
I am working on another Twisted Tale in the Disney Twisted Tale series. It's about Hercules. Actually, it's really about Meg. And the twist is, what if Meg had to become a god to be with Hercules? And that will be out spring 2021.
Yay, I cannot wait for that. Now, if viewers want to stay up to date with everything Jen, where can they find you on social media?
I'm on Instagram as Jen Calonita, Twitter as well, and my website is jencalonitaonline.com.
You heard Jen. Go check her out now. All of her social media handles are in the description below. Jen, thank you for being on Book Hour, and for those watching, I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me.